Candi Borobudur di Magelang, Jawa Tengah ternyata menyimpan kisah mendalam bagi sineas asal Amerika Serikat Conor Allen. Conor pun membuat sebuah film laga berjudul Javahit yang sebagian lokasinya dibuat di salah satu situs warisan dunia ini. Javahit berkisah tentang pertemuan dua orang polisi berbeda negara yang berusaha untuk menemukan musuh yang sama di Yogyakarta. Tak tanggung-tanggung, Conor menggait aktor Hollywood ternama untuk filmnya, diantaranya Mickey Rourke dan Kellen Lutz. Proses produksi di Indonesia sendiri dilakukan selama 45 hari dan menggunakan sekitar 400 kru lokal. Selain itu, film ini juga mengangkat konten-konten lokal yang digarap dengan serius. Conor mengaku Javahit memang merupakan film berorientasi internasional yang menggunakan bahasa Inggris. Namun, film ini menunjukkan perbedaan antara budaya Barat dan Timur. Perbedaan terlihat dari sejumlah adegan yang menonjolkan budaya di Indonesia. Tak hanya itu, sentuhan tradisional juga ikut mewarnai kostum film Javahit. Ya, Conor memang telah mengenal Indonesia sejak menggarap film Merah Putih beberapa waktu lalu. Film itu telah memberinya gambaran mengenai Indonesia.
This is my case, and this is my country.
Sutradara Conor Allen melakukan sebagian besar proses syuting film Javahit di Yogyakarta. Javahit pun menjadi film pertama yang melakukan pengambilan gambar di stupa Candi Borobudur. Untuk membahas hal ini kita telah bersama sang sutradara Javahit, Conor Allen. Conor, welcome to Berita Satu and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on your Dallas International Film Festival premiere.
Yes.
Now, before we get down to the details, my first question for you: why Java for Javahit?
Why Java for Javahit?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we came to Java before we chose Javahit, the name, obviously. I had worked on the Indonesian movies Merah Putih,
right.
all three of the trilogy, and I really fell in love with Indonesian culture and also the filmmakers in Indonesia, all the talent that was here. We were just talking about it. I mean, the actors and actresses here are so good and so talented, and all the crews here really know there's a level of professionalism that you get here that's really outstanding. And I think Indonesia's on the verge of really breaking out in the film industry worldwide. And so I wanted to come back and do a bigger movie, which we did with Javahit, bring in Hollywood actors and do a movie in English that would go worldwide.
Right, because
would still be a movie
was
all
full
made in
Indonesian,
Indonesia.
right?
Yes.
Full Bahasa.
Yes.
And this Javahit was full English. Now, do you plan to break some kind of international market?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've already sold this movie in about almost 50 countries. So Indonesia is the first country where the movie's going to air nationwide in theaters. But we've also sold in Germany. We've sold in the UK. We're going to release in the United States on May 10.
How do you see the trend
everywhere.
of Hollywood production penetrating Indonesian market?
I mean,
You really think we're on the international map of film industries?
Yeah, you are absolutely. And it's happening. Movies like Javahit are going to help. Movies like The Raid helped. Gareth Evans' movie The Raid.
Right, The Raid really put us on the map.
It did, yeah, absolutely. And so I think Hollywood is always looking for like the next hot thing.
Right.
And where can we go and make movies? Where have people not been before? Because movies is an adventure for the audience to get to go somewhere new. And Indonesia is somewhere new that people don't know.
Do you think that the Indonesian creative industry, in the eyes of Hollywood, is something that is attractive compared to, let's say, other countries in Southeast Asia?
Yeah, well, I mean, they have to learn about it first. So I think that when Hollywood people, and many of them already have seen this movie behind closed doors, but when they see this movie and they see a guy like Aryo Bayu, and they see him in this movie, he is so good in this film, and he is acting right up against some of the very best actors in Hollywood. Kellen Lutz from the Twilight movies, Mickey Rourke, who is a Oscar-nominated movie actor. He was in The Wrestler, and he's been making movies for 30 years. And Aryo is as good or better than they are, and I think people see that and they're like, wow, like these guys can really act, and they want to get them in their movies. I mean, this happened with Joe Teslim in The Raid. You know, now he's in Fast and Furious 6.
Now, going into the cast, how did you cast Aryo Bayu and Atika Hasiholan? Why did you choose them?
Well, I had, because of the Merah Putih films, I had already worked with Aryo and Atika. They were both in Dara Garuda, the second movie.
Okay.
And so I was familiar with them already, and I knew that they were great, and I could tell. And so we did do auditions here, and we auditioned a lot of people. But when I was writing Javahit, I had in my head Aryo for Detective Hashim.
So you actually
and
wrote
Atika.
around the character that you
I
already built
definitely,
in your
my
head.
head, I didn't tell them yet, but like in my head I saw Aryo. And when we did the casting, I was probably more nervous than Aryo was.
If it was gonna fit.
Because if he didn't fit for some reason and I was just way off,
Right.
I would have been like, oh my God, who's gonna be in this movie?
Right.
But I didn't need to worry. Both of them just did perfect, and they were exactly what I thought they would be.
What inspired you the most when you wrote Javahit?
I think in the 80s they made a lot of buddy cop action movies that were about mixed culture, and like 48 Hours was in America, but black people and white people. And there's a movie called Red Heat with Arnold Schwarzenegger that's about the Soviet Union and the United States. And that was sort of a jumping off point for a contemporary action movie that's a buddy cop movie that would be about culture swapping. And
So you wanted to make something action thriller, culture swap, East meets West kind of thing?
Exactly, something exciting, but also where someone comes out of that, an Indonesian can watch it and they can learn a little bit about America, but also be proud of their culture.
Right.
And Americans can watch it and say, wow, this is, Indonesia. I didn't know anything about Indonesia before. And I had a good time watching this movie, but I also want to go visit Borobudur. I want to see Java.
Right.
I want to learn about this culture. I want to eat nasi goreng.
You
all that.
even shot in the Candi Borobudur, which is
Did,
one of the
yes.
grandest, most sacred place of worship. How did you do that?
It was very hard. Definitely.
You even had like shooting scenes there.
Yeah, it was an action scene up there, and definitely you have to get permission. You can't just go.
Yeah, how long did that take
A
you,
couple
and
of
how
months.
difficult?
It was very difficult. A couple
A lot
months,
of
and I
lobbying.
can't take too much of the credit for it. My dad, who's also a producer on this movie, he and our line producer Will Zalubis and our very good friend Gary Hayes, who's been a producer here for a long, long time, they went and they saw everyone they needed to. They met with UNESCO, they met with the local government, they met with
Right.
the federal government, they met with all the
And
different
finally you
ministries,
can shoot there.
with the Buddhist Council, with the TWSA, and all these people. And at first, it's a little difficult. People have to understand, okay, what's this movie? What are you trying to do? Because we want to be protective of our great national
Right.
monument. But once they understood what we were doing, and that this movie was going to be worldwide, and that millions of people would see it,
And then they said yes.
they were like, even the more passive Buddhists were like, yes, come do this movie because we want
That's great.
that.
Other than the Borobudur itself, the movie is very thick with local contents and local wisdom.
Yes.
You can really feel the Indonesian in it. Now,
Yes.
how did you capture Indonesian culture
People
in
have asked me that because I'm Bule, and so
Right.
how
do you capture it?
write
How do you
this?
put in the details?
Yeah, well, for one thing, I lived here for many years working on the Merah films, so I wasn't a stranger to Indonesian culture. And this movie is about an American coming to Indonesia and learning about the culture. So I'm not a U.S. Marine or anything, but I was sort of, could put myself out there. And what were the things that when I came here was interesting?
Right.
And then the other part of it is that it wasn't just me. We had so many people worked on this movie, and it's not just on the script. We were adding these little cultural things at every stage of the movie, in the wardrobe, in the
Right.
set direction,
You
in
even
the
work with
actors.
400 full Indonesian crew.
Absolutely.
So how is that in terms of
Yeah, it was
fulfilling Hollywood standard production?
certainly a lot of logistics involved. But in order to make a big movie with the special effects and car crashes and all this stuff and explosions, things you have to, it does take a lot of people. But they were mostly Indonesians. I mean, I think we maybe had 15,
All right.
Australians and British. and
Last
stuff.
question for today.
Okay.
What does Java get from Javahit?
What does Java get? Well, I think what Java and what all of Indonesia gets is they get some of their heritage and their culture gets to go all around the world, and for people to see this movie and get really excited about their next vacation because they're going to want to come
All right.
here.
And so we can expect more movies to come from you in Indonesia?
I promise.
All right.
Yes.
Good luck for the premiere
Thank
here
you.
and
Thank you very
worldwide.
much.
Connor, thank you for
Terima
coming
kasih.
to Berita Satu today.
Thank you.
Dan pemirsa, kami masih akan melanjutkan dialog tentang Javahit di segmen berikutnya. Jangan kemana-mana dulu, tetap bersama kami.